Hey y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I will look at the Copper Carnival collection that's releasing at PolishCon and online September 23rd from Enuff Polish. These were sent to me for review, and I'll link her storefront and social media down below. I'll also have the PolishCon exclusive polish. I'll share that at the end. It almost looks like it fits perfectly into this collection, so I thought this would be a good way to go ahead and show it to you guys. So first up, I'll get right into the swatches. So first up is Murder at the Marquee, and this is described as a blood red base polish packed with silver galaxy, chrome chameleon glitters, and a splash of gold shift with a beautiful copper spark flare topped with a linear hollow. So beautiful elements in this polish. I'll go ahead and show you a quick look at that brush shot. Again, I love the thicker Never Enough polish brush. It really makes application a breeze. So here's a quick look at that first easy coat. This one does start out a little bit sheer, but it did go on nice and evenly. I had no problems getting those glitters dispersed, so I'll go ahead and let that dry and then show you how it built up for me with a second coat. So here's a look at my second coat. I did go in a little bit thicker here, and it pushed this one right over the edge into being completely opaque. If you prefer thinner coats or you want a little bit more depth, I think that you'll prefer this polish at 3 coats. But here's a quick look at that completed mani at just 2 before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. This is one of those polishes that's going to look beautiful under all different lighting sources. So here's a quick look at an angle in direct sunlight, and this is my final swatch photo at an angle in that direct sunlight. So next up is the Artisan King, and this is described as a blueberry base polish jam-packed with copper galaxy glitters in different sizes, a copper spark flare, and lots of a linear hollow. So this one is a very flashy on the nails. I'll go ahead and show you a quick look at that brush shot, and then I'll show you how the Artisan King swatched on my natural nail. So much the same. I found that the formula was pretty much a good 2-coat formula across the board depending on your application style. I did go in a little bit thicker here for this first coat, so it made for pretty awesome coverage but with a little bit of nail line left. So I'll go ahead and show you how it built up with my second coat. Again, I did work with a little bit of a thicker second coat, but it did pull this polish completely opaque. So here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. I didn't have any staining issues with this polish, even though it is very intense on the nails. So here's a quick look at an angle in direct sunlight, and this is my final swatch photo at an angle in that direct sunlight. So next up is Modern Vintage, and this is described as a deep plum base polish packed full of silver galaxy glitters, tons of gold flakes, a copper spark flare, and a heavy dash of linear hollow. So this one almost looks like it has a very strong purple metallic flash in here as well. Super gorgeous. There's a quick look at that brush shot, and then I'll show you how Modern Vintage swatched on my natural nail. So much like the others, this one does go on smooth, really easy to apply with that thicker, wider brush, but a little bit sheer here at that first coat. So I'll let that dry and then show you how it built up for me with a second. So here's a look at that second coat. This does easily pull this one completely opaque for me. I had no issues at all, no brush stroking or anything like that. So here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with a glossy top coat. So super linear holographic effect going on here. And this is my final swatch photo at an angle in that direct sunlight. So the last polish of the Copper Carnival collection is Cirque Noir, and this is described as a charcoal-based polish filled with those silver galaxy glitters, a splash of lime to gold ultra chrome flakies, pink to green ultra chrome flakies, and a copper spark flare with a heavy dose, again, of that beautiful linear holographic effect. So there's a look at that brush shot, and then I'll show you how Cirque Noir swatched on my natural nail. So that first coat, again, really smooth, really easy to apply, but just a little bit sheer. I did notice some of those larger ultra chrome flakies on the nail already at just that first coat. So I went ahead and let that dry, and then I'll show you how it built up for me with my second coat. Again, I did work with a little bit of a thicker second coat, but this polish easily is opaque in just 2. So here's a quick look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. With some of those larger flakies, you want to go in with a good glossy top coat to help smooth them right out, but there was not much texture going on at all. So here's a look from a different angle in direct sunlight, and this is my final swatch photo at an angle in that direct sunlight. So next up, I promised you guys I would show you the PolishCon exclusive. This is Pirouette, and it is releasing exclusively at the PolishCon September 23rd in Chicago. It will retail at $10 a bottle, and it's described as a navy blue base polish with tons of microflakes and glitters, a splash of a pink shift in the light, and topped with linear hollow. So here's a look at how it applied on my natural nails. Like the polishes of the Copper Carnival collection, it does start out a little bit sheer here, but it did go on nice and smooth and really evenly. I'll go ahead and let that dry and then show you how it built up for me with a second coat. So here's a look at that second coat. Again, I did go in a little bit thicker here, and I think this one really balances on the edge of being a 2 and 3 coater. I was able to get full coverage here, but I think with a third coat, it deepened that finish even more. So here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath my artificial lighting. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with a glossy top coat, and this is my final swatch photo at an angle in that direct sunlight. So that does wrap up my swatch and review of the Copper Carnival collection as well as the event exclusive for PolishCon. Again, these will be releasing on September 23rd, both at the event and online in the case of the Copper Carnival. If you'd like to see more photos of any of these polishes, I do have those available on my blog at sloppyswatches.com, or you can also follow me on Instagram at sloppyswatches. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.